welcome back to my channel. I am coming in today as promised to show at least 2 of the adjustments that I talked about in my previous fit clinic video. So if you have not seen that video, go back and I will link it up above here. It is the Cashmerette Fit Clinic. I was working one-on-one with Jenny Rushmore, the owner of Cashmerette Patterns, and so yeah, went through the whole process. So now I am showing you in this video my way. So again, caveat, I'm no expert, I'm no fit expert or anything like that, but these tips were shared with me, and so I am showing visually because the tips are in the blog post, which I will put all of those down below. In this video, I'm showing just the sloping shoulder and the gaping neck adjustment on a woven. And so I am doing the Cashmerette Springfield top. And I am doing view A. I am doing view A, which is at the top here. And I have modified the pattern to eliminate that yoke piece. And of course, I didn't do the band. There is a line to do the no band. So I didn't have to worry about modifying that. But I did modify it to remove the yoke. I will show in this video how I went from this. I'll pop a picture up here that shows what it looked like pre-adjustment when I did my muslin. You see the gaping in the back. You see also the around the shoulder. You can't tell too much in that picture, but the straps did fall off here. So I knew I had to, and that's just going to be the gaping neck and the sloping shoulder for sure are going to be typical adjustments I'm always going to have to make. And so we have the sloping shoulder, and if you've been sitting at a computer long enough and everything like that, your posture anyway gets a little out of tune. And so here is the final, and I'm going to show pictures anyway. This is the final. So as you can tell, no gaping back. I chose not to do a sway back only because this is supposed to be a loose fitting top. And so I didn't want it to be fitted on me in the back. And so I just left it nice and loose. It fits and lays perfectly. So let me go from here and I will share how I did it. Okay, so I am showing here the Cashmerette pattern pieces. This is the front piece, and I will be tracing these out. And I'm starting here with starting at a size 20. I'm grading out to a size 22, making sure I catch the right dart line. And then I am grading out to a 26. And this is the EF cup for the Springfield top. And as you didn't see that there, but I'm not doing the band. So there's an area for not doing the band. And here's the back piece. Again, I'm starting just for that lower back piece. I'm starting at a 22, and I will be grading out to a 26. And so what I'm doing here is just writing this out so you can see where I started out with that back piece and then going out to a 26. And again, I'm not doing the band. And then there's the yoke piece. The yoke piece at the top. You will see also I'm going to start out with a 20. The 20, I'm just doing the yoke in a size 20, the entire yoke piece. Because what I'll do is combine the yoke with that back piece. I'll trace everything out and then tape those 2 together, and then we will only have a couple pieces. And so here you will see I have traced out everything, and we have the yoke. Take out that seam allowance. If you're going to combine 2 pattern pieces like this to make them one, take out that seam allowance. And I have cleaned up all my edges and traced everything out. Now we have the back piece, no band, and we have the front piece. Everything is cleaned up, traced out, and no band. So essentially you will have 2 pieces only after you made those modifications. Here I'm showing my typical adjustments sloping shoulders, what I'll be showing, a 1/4 inch, and my gaping neck adjustment. So what I'm showing here is, because I'm doing a sloping shoulder, this is the arm side that I'm showing, which will be affected. And so I'm decreasing the arm side at the top here. So I'm going in a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to draw a line from the arm side corner up to towards the neck band shoulder. And this is me having drawn that line. I'm going to so it's going to decrease that arm side, right? And I'm going to go ahead, I'm just showing here so you can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to cut that out. So as you can see here, I've taken out that 1/4 inch at the top, and I will need to adjust this at the bottom of the arm side. So as the blog post that I have linked below shows, you cut out that piece and you can easily just lay it there. You can also measure. I'm showing how they did in the blog post. So I'm going to just move this 1/4 inch piece that I cut out, put it down here. What I'm going to do is draw a line into the arm side curve. And then you will see, I'll clean that up, and then you'll see how that'll look. And I will show that momentarily. I'm trying to lay this piece here so you can kind of get an idea of what I'll be doing. And of course I'll lay that flat. So here it is laid flat, and I went ahead and measured, put that piece down. I'm going to smooth it out, and then I'll cut that. So here are all my pieces. You do this to your front piece, and you do this to your back piece as well. And you will have 4 little clippings there. Here's your gaping neck adjustment. This can also be found on page 162 in the Fit for Real People book. So now what you will do for this section is go ahead on and draw your line. Go from one side to the other. And then draw your line straight up to about the midpoint of your back piece. About that midpoint. Make that line straight. And then you have that middle point right there. Add a piece of tape if you need to, so you don't cut through it, because it's going to be your pivot point. And so again, I'm showing you make that, draw that line, you have that cross point, and then you have the point going all the way down. You draw your seam line, make sure you have your seam line, and go ahead and have that, just mark it on there, just so you have that information. And then you will cut from the top all the way down to that pivot point only. Cut to, but not through it, because then you're going to cut from the bottom up. You're going to cut to it, but not through it. To it, but not through it. So here I'm showing where I have cut down to that pivot point, and you will see down at the bottom as well. So here is where we will begin to close up that gaping. Now remember, I think I mentioned I had 2 inches, so I needed to close this by 1 inch. So make sure when you're trying on your muslin that you pinch out what would take out that gaping. And then you will know, and divide that by 2, and then you will know how much to close this by. Same thing with the sloping shoulder piece. You want to pinch that out. And so then you'll see down here there's a little bit of a little opening. We're not really concerned about that. We're going to end up putting some paper there, but I'll show that momentarily. So I flip this over so you can see. I'm going to mark 1 inch, and then I'm going to fold this side of the pattern piece over 1 inch, and then you'll see how at the bottom there is an opening. We're not concerned about this extra little room. We're going to end up laying some tape there, and I'm just showing I'm not really worried about that. And so here I marked that 1 inch. And I'll just mark it here again, just in case anybody missed that. I want to just mark here 1 inch, right? And then we are going to go ahead and fold that piece over. Yay for gaping neck adjustments, I tell you. And then I'm going to tape that down, and then I'll show you. I'll end up cleaning up this neckline. And so there's the paper added at the bottom for that little opening. Again, not concerned about that little bit of room down there. And then at the top, I'm going to tape this down, and then I'm going to clean that up. As you can see, there's a jog there. So we need to make sure that neckline is clean. And so what I've done, I've tried to mark it in a red pen. I went ahead and cleaned that up. I used my curve ruler, and I went ahead and cleaned that up. I cut it out, and now my pattern pieces are all ready to sew up. The pattern also comes with the neckband piece as well as an armhole facing piece. Initially, what I was going to do is, with my adjustments that I made for my sloping shoulder and for my gaping neckline, I was going to adjust those pattern pieces accordingly to take into account those adjustments that I made. However, I did not do that. Instead, because the pattern calls for, Cashmerette said bias tape is suitable, so I grabbed my bias tape. Instead of fooling around with trying to readjust those pieces, I used the bias tape facings and went ahead on and used bias tape to finish off the neckband. That is my way of how I understood those blog posts to do the gaping neck as well as the sloping shoulder adjustment. By all means, there are many other ways. You can go ahead and Google, look on YouTube for other ways if that wasn't a good enough explanation for you. But for those who are looking for a visual of how I make the adjustment, completely removing that gaping neck, again, I'll pop up some pictures here. Absolutely love it. These adjustments work for me, and I will continue to do them like this going forward. And so I made two, and here's the second one. This is a much flowy fabric. I initially had, before I laid down the bias tape with the around here, I went back and unpicked this one because my shoulders weren't laying down flat. And so because this is such a flowy fabric, it yeah, it was a little temperamental, and so it's lays much better now, but still sticks up just a little bit. And I just think that's just because the fabric is in picking this really flowy fabric. This here came from Fabric Mart. This also came from Fabric Mart. What I have on is a cotton linen. This is a, I want to say a rayon, sorry, that's my iron going. This is a rayon Chally, I think, or something like that. I can't remember. It was one of their sales. And so yeah, I made two. That is the video. That is all I have. What I made to go with it. And by the time you see this, I will be on vacation. And so give me a few days to get back to any comments that are left. But I did self-draft a skirt, drawstring skirt. Yeah, you can see, to go with it. Absolutely love it. Initially, I was going to do culottes, but I'll talk about that later. And so, if you are interested in how I did the self-drafted skirt, please stay tuned. That video will be up next week, Sunday. So stay tuned for that. So if you have any questions or comments, if you found this helpful, please thumbs up this video. Please feel free to share it. Please feel free to subscribe. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video, which will be about this self-drafted skirt. All right, everybody, have a blessed one. Bye.